I have been wanting to do a video on High Rise, which is a game that an iPhone game that I discovered a couple weeks ago and did a video on. And I've been playing it off and on since because I find it enjoyable, but I'm frustrated a little bit by it because on the leaderboard there are all these really high scores that I can't fathom how somebody's getting this high of scores. So I've been working pretty hard for the past 2 weeks on this, and my high score is 8,340, which I'm super proud of because I more often than not don't even, break 4,000. So I'm really impressed with that attempt. So I thought I'd do a video to talk about kind of the strategies that I've come up with that I feel like are working and explain a little bit about the game. I'm hoping that if anybody has accomplished some of those high scores, that you'll, share some knowledge about how you get them. I can't help wondering if there's some way to hack or exploit a bug in the game, which would be disappointing because I don't want to get a high score by using a bug. So we'll see. So my strategy kind of varies from game to game, but involves basically at this point consciously trying to build things in a way that they will get taller. And that I mean a little differently than just placing light colors next to light colors, but actually thinking about, if I place this block here, will it grow something? Or should I place it somewhere else instead? If I do place this someplace, is that going to get in the way of a different color growing? And just in general, I've been trying to look farther ahead a little bit on the upcoming pieces, especially when it gives you the option to delete a tower, to basically not back myself into a corner where, if I'd realized that piece was coming up, I wouldn't have played, there, for instance. So that's kind of the gist of my strategy. One of my earlier strategies that kind of was helping me get to the 4,000s or 5,000s, or I guess 4,000s, was that when the option to delete a block came up, I just deleted the tallest tower because those are the hardest to grow and it feels like they're in the way. But I actually, as of tonight, was like, those tall towers, if you can grow them one more, that's a lot of points. So maybe it's worth keeping around at least one color tower that is really tall and trying to grow it. You'll see here, or you might have seen a second ago, that there was almost kind of like rows happening where I kind of had a green row and a blue row, and I'm trying basically to, consolidate colors. And it's really the two colored pieces that cause a lot of the trouble of, okay, where do I put this? Because it doesn't feel like there's enough places, even if you are separating out the colors. It may not feel like there's, for that one, red and blue, I'd like to put it halfway between red and blue, but my red and my blue were not anywhere near each other. So it makes it a little tricky. The other tip I have, and this is gonna sound kind of lame as far as tips go, but I feel like I've improved a lot as I've started to understand when blocks will grow, and especially with the two colored blocks, understanding when they're going to separate versus when they're going to grow, and also just the direction that they may grow. There's a particular way of towers growing that annoys me that it grows that way, but it is consistent. I wonder if it'll happen anytime soon here, so that I can give it as an example. If I see it happen, I'll try to bring it up. But towers do tend to grow toward larger towers. Like if you feel like it could have gone two directions, it seems like it tends toward the bigger tower, which is good. And there are still times where I'm not sure when I place a block, especially the two-colored block or something around a two-colored block where I'm not 100% sure if it's going to grow or if it's going to separate them, or if it separates them, is it going to separate them the way that I want them to? So it is a bit tricky. So this attempt was what I would call a decent attempt, but is not a high score. Every time I record one of these games from the beginning, it feels like I get nowhere near my high score. So I do have a video of me starting halfway through what is my now high score, because I started recording at a higher score than I normally get, and then attempted to do really well. So that'll happen in just a little bit. So here you can see that I'm really trying to think about what's in the way of things growing. What is in the way of maybe the next pieces that are coming up? How can I, how can I make this game last longer? By making more space. Yes, initially by clicking on one tower, but also by then being able to use the next blocks to hopefully make even more room. So see, I feel like I got a lot of room here to work with. But I do think that I kind of messed up on where I place stuff. Like, I wish that green wasn't there because that blocked my yellow. Not sure that it really would have made a difference, but apparently that was actually after this attempt, because my current high score is 8340, and I get it, I believe, in this one. So my strategy, I tend to either try to put colors in a corner or put them in rows, and so you can kind of see that a little bit here. Like, blue is all in a row, but that's about it. Nothing else really seems to be following that. So definitely trying to be aware of, or hopefully trying to be aware of what's coming next, and aware of not wanting to block myself. So that was a good move. Not to toot my own horn, but toot toot. And there definitely are times where I place a block and then I'm like, oh, I should have placed over there. Like, I should have placed it next to the one block, because it would grow immediately and take up less space. Whereas now I'm having to wait for another pink to come along. Now see, that looked like a good tower to get rid of, because then I was immediately able to grow one of my already fairly tall towers, which was nice. Before this game that got me a new high score, my high score was in the 7,000s. I think it was 7,300 something. And at this point it feels like any increase in high score is few and far between. So like I said, if you are playing this and have a strategy that is working, or if this inspires you to play and you end up finding something you think works, then would definitely love to hear about it. Or if you happen to know that people are just hacking the game, which is possible, I'd also love to know that. You can tell I've kind of slowed down, trying to think really hard about what I'm doing. Or it could be that my toddler was demanding my attention. It's so hard to tell now in retrospect. Oh, the decisions. Okay. And see, now I'm like thinking about where I would put these pieces, and it will be interesting to see how often. Like, that's where I was gonna put that one. But like, how many times am I gonna go, oh no, that's not where I should have put that. That's good. I can tell, like I definitely look like I'm kind of nervous as I'm playing here because I already know it's a new high score at this point. So here, most of what's coming up is blue. I've got all this blue over here, and that yellow really felt like it was getting in the way. Nice. See, that I don't agree with. Again, I should have put that next to the yellow. That would have immediately grown. Oh, never mind. Maybe that was a good move. Maybe I was looking ahead. Hard to say. Almost out of room. We got really tall towers here. This is my high score now, so there you have it. I also just want to say thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, leave me a comment, tell me what you think of this game, or suggest a different game to play if you've got one that you think is really cool. Thanks for watching. Bye.